So this is the introduction to flipped leadership, or how administrators can use the concept of flipped classroom. So we've all been in those classrooms where all the students are completely disengaged. And we've been in those meetings where teachers or faculty members or administrators are completely unengaged by what's going on. So remember this scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the anyone, the Great Depression, passed the anyone, the tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which anyone raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today, we have a similar debate over this. Anyone know what this is, class? Anyone? Anyone seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? It says that at this point on the revenue curve, you will get exactly the same amount of revenue as at this point. This is very controversial. Does anyone know what Vice President Bush called this in 1980? Anyone? Something DOO economics. Voodoo.
So just like we don't want our teachers to use questioning techniques like that, we also don't want any of our administrative meetings to go like that. So we can use the methods from the flipped classroom technique. So what is the flipped classroom? It's basically inverting what normally happens in a classroom and what normally happens for homework. In a traditional classroom, the direct instruction is given during the class period, and then the skill is practiced when the students are home alone for homework. The flipped classroom does the opposite. The homework is the direct instruction given by the teacher via a video or some other kind of document or technology that the student accesses from home. And then the skill that is learned through that direct instruction is practiced in class the next day. The beauty of this is that the students are not alone to practice the skill, and the application of the skill can be done while the student has the teacher and all the other classmates there, to help him out. So we could do the same thing as administrators with our meetings. We could prepare for the meetings for homework and then, or before the meeting, and then the meeting would be used to make decisions, collaborate, discuss, and be more productive. So this little flow chart just shows sort of the classroom flip and what it provides and how it influences the learning environment, which is the actual meeting time, and how it uses educational technology and learning through activity to do that. So this is a little video that just shows sort of how the flipped classroom came into being. This is a video by one of the founders of the flipped classroom. They were two science teachers out in Colorado.
I'm Aaron Sams, and I teach science here at Woodland Park High School. My ultimate goal, I guess, as a teacher is to help students become learners who can learn for themselves and by themselves. One of the problems that I was guilty of even prior to flipping my classroom around was The classroom was centered around me. I told them exactly what to learn, how to learn it, what assignments to do to learn it, and when to learn it, and how to prove to me that they learned it. I don't do that anymore. We changed the place in which content is delivered. Instead of standing in front of a class and delivering, here's how you do this type of problem, here's how this works, I deliver that direct instruction now asynchronously at home through these videos that we make with Camtasia Studio. Kids come to class, they don't show up to learn new stuff, they show up to apply the things that they learn at home and to ask me questions about the things they learned at home. So now they can have my lesson, if you will, what I would normally have stood up and lectured to them in class with some added features. They get that at home. Then what they were expected to do for homework is now what they do in my class. Life is different for me because I no longer am the guy who stands up in the front of the classroom and just yaks at a student for an hour or however long the class is. Now I walk around the class and I help kids. I'm a tutor, I'm a guide, I'm the putter-outer of fires, whatever it happens to be in my crazy chemistry class. I walk around and do that. I don't stand up front and teach under the kind of the traditional model. I'm Aaron Sams.
All right, so what are the pros of flipping? You know, we've all been in those meetings where the person who is holding the meeting is just disseminating information, and none of us want to do that. We don't want to be a part of that. Why get together? Why gather when the information could just be given out via email or memo? So if everyone is prepared before the meeting with the data or the document or whatever is going to be discussed, then the time that everyone's actually together can be used more effectively. It also gives administrators time to reflect and prepare instead of being thrown information at a meeting and being expected to make decisions. They can have time to really analyze the information and come to the meeting much more prepared. And of course, it increases productivity because time is used much more efficiently. The cons, there's going to be work on the front end to prepare the information to give out to the participants. And then there's always the worry that participants don't look at the information before the meeting. These, I think, are easily overcome with participants feeling that, you know, they may not prepare the very first meeting, but certainly when they realize how ill-prepared they are and how well prepared everyone else is, they will certainly not make that mistake again. So you need a few resources, and fortunately here in Wappingers we have lots of technology and lots of people to help us out with these things. So to record anything that you want to do, you can do it from a Mac, a PC, or an iPad. You could even do it from a phone or a video camera. And then you need a site to host. So you could disseminate the information via My Big Campus in groups that you create, or just simply by email. And here are some resources, some software resources that can be used to record. Of course, not all content for flipped leadership would necessarily be a video. It could be a document, it could be data, it could be charts, graphs, etc. It wouldn't necessarily have to be an actual recording. So what could we flip? We could flip our faculty meetings so that faculty comes prepared to make decisions or do work instead of just being told the calendar for the upcoming month at school. We could also flip committee meetings, safety team meetings. We could look at data from the last emergency or from the last lockdown and address problems when we gather together. Parent meetings could also be flipped. Parents could be given their students' grades, their student attendance, their students' referrals or behavior history, and then be told, look, when we meet as a team, we're going to be addressing how we're going to go forward, a plan of action. so that that information doesn't have to be, we don't have to waste 10 or 15 minutes going around the table with each teacher giving that information. The parent could have that before they even came to the meeting. So that's the basics of how we could flip as administrators. Hope you enjoyed.